So, good morning, all. This is our second lecture for hydrology and water resources engineering. In the previous lecture, we have started for runoff and hydrograph, and in that, we had seen what does it mean about the runoff. So, runoff is nothing but the excess amount of the rainfall which appears over a ground surface. That is, after meeting all the requirements of the losses, whatever the amount of rainfall which appears over the land surface or which appears in the streams and the rivers is nothing but the runoff. Then we had seen the components of the runoff as the surface runoff, subsurface runoff, and base flow. Then we have discussed this case also. It is out of total precipitation in the form of a rainfall. Some amount get intercepted on the leaves or the plant leaves of the plants and the crops. Then some amount gets infiltrates into the soils and immediately joins the surface runoff, whereas some amount of the rainfall gets deep percolates and joins the groundwater table, and from there it joins further to the rivers and streams. So this is nothing but the and remaining amount is to flow over a land surface. This is nothing but the overland flow. Then we joins the streams and the rivers by getting some amount, some depth in the soil, that is called as an interflow or a thorough flow, whereas the which joins the groundwater flow or groundwater table and further joins the streams, that is considered as an base flow that we had seen in the previous part only. And we had seen that the runoff may be for two types, that is a direct runoff and indirect runoff. Direct runoff includes the surface and subsurface runoff, whereas indirect runoff is a base flow, or it is also called as a delayed flow. Then we have started for the factors affecting a runoff. In that we had listed the climatic factors, that is the type of precipitation, intensity of rainfall, duration of rainfall, area distribution of rainfall, direction of a storm movement, antecedent precipitation, and the other climatic factors such as the temperature, wind, velocity, etc. We have discussed all those parameters in a detail, and after that we have started for the physiographic factors, isn't it? I think so. We have listed firstly, that is the land use, type of the soil, area of the basin, shape of the basin, then elevation and a slope, and the type of drainage network existing in that particular basin. Out of those physiographic factors, I think we have discussed the land use and a type of soil. Okay. Now we'll start for that physiographic parameters, those influences the runoff. Land use for various purposes such as cultivation of crops, forests, barren lands, etc. used to affect over the infiltration. म्हणजे जशी जमिनीची कंडिशन असणार आहे, मातीची कंडिशन असणार आहे वरची, त्या पद्धतीने इन्फिल्ट्रेशनचा रेट हा इन्फ्लुएन्स होतो, इंटरसेप्शनचा लॉसेस इन्फ्लुएन्स होतात, म्हणजे पिट्स फॉर्मेशन एक्सेट्रा, आणि त्या पद्धतीने रनऑफ हा अफेक्ट होतो. And so we have seen that for the urban areas where the infiltration is so less and the runoff is so high. Then type of soil also we have seen, for the sandy soil it's high, and for the black water soil it's somewhat less than the sandy soil. Then area of the basin we had started for. I think we have discussed about the area of the basin also. For the large basins, how it acts to be, and for the small basins, it is for the circular basins, etc., etc. Okay. Then the next we have we have discussed, that is a shape of the catchment also. That is, if the shape of the catchment is like this, this is an outlet. In that case, we used to have the peak immediately after the rainfall event, because the maximum area is to contribute for the runoff immediately after the rainfall, whereas in such type of the catchment, after the runoff, sorry, after the rainfall, the less area is to contribute immediately, because whatever the tributaries used to exist in the larger areas, they used to require some time to carry out the discharge or to convey that discharge up to the main stream or up to the outlet of a catchment. Okay. Whereas for the wide shapes of the basins, they used to have an fluctuating peaks. Means firstly this area will contribute for the higher floods, there will be the reduction, and then remaining area will contribute for the floods. So there will be the fluctuating peaks that we had seen in the previous lecture only. Then we came up to the elevation and slope. So how does the elevation of the catchment and the slope of the catchment affects on the runoff? Suppose that once again, as per the previous condition, there is a catchment having the RLs of 100 meters and the 98 meters. Okay, so I would like to go for that so that you will get the idea clearly. Suppose that once again we'll consider such type of a catchment where here is a RL having 100 meter, and here we'll consider the RL as a 98 meters. It means that now there is a elevation difference, that is 100 meters, and here is a 98 meters. Means there is an elevation difference from 100 meter towards the 98 meters, and we'll assume that, or rather we'll consider that the whatever the slope is there, that an outlet is there, that outlet is near to the 98 meters. Okay, so we'll consider that the whatever tributaries those are existing, rather those tributaries are like this. Suppose that this is a main tributary we'll consider over here, and the submesh for that, or the tributaries, we can say that those are existing to that main tributaries, we'll consider like this. We'll consider only 2-3 tributaries. Now in this case, the whatever the rainfall which is going to occur over this basin, here the here the slope is from 100 to 98. It means that whenever there is a maximum slope, or whenever there is a large elevation difference between the outlet and the extreme point of the catchment area, in that case whatever the amount of the rainfall which will be received by a particular catchment, that water will be get collected, or will be passed, or will be moved towards the outlet of the catchment immediately. Why is it so? Because as the slope increases, it means that the component of the weight of the water, or the component of the weight of the flowing water rather, or the runoff rather, in the tributaries, that component will have the maximum magnitude than that of the reactive forces, or resistance we can say, or shear we can say. So due to that property, that is a higher magnitude of the driving force in a slopy catchment areas, the maximum flood used to appear, or the peak flood used to appear immediately after the rainfall, and vice versa. Vice versa means what? Suppose that now here RL is only 97 meters, and here is a 98 meters. Means this is a flat topography. So if the flat topography will be there, in that case, instead of moving at the outlet, that after rainfall, instead of moving towards the outlet, the water is to stand over the areas where it is to appear. म्हणजे जर का स्लोप हा फ्लॅट असेल तर त्या केस मध्ये काय होणार, पाऊस पडल्यानंतर ना पावसाचं पाणी हे आउटलेट कडे लगेच न येता ते काय होणार, तर जिथं पाऊस पडलेला आहे, रेनफॉल झालेला आहे, त्या ठिकाणावरती ते अकोमुलेट होणार, साठणार. त्याच्यामुळे ते आउटलेटला लगेच येणार नाहीये. परंतु जर का स्लोप जास्त असेल तर त्या केसमध्ये ते पाणी लगेच आउटलेटला येणार, कारण स्लोप जास्त असला की ड्रायव्हिंग फोर्स मॅग्निट्यूड जे असणार, दॅट ड्रायव्हिंग फोर्स मॅग्निट्यूड विल बी मोर and it will be drive immediately towards the outlet. So this is about an slope of the catchment area we can say. Okay, so just a minute. So elevation and the slopes for a slopy basins, for a slopy basin, just a minute. For the slopy basins results in a reduction in concentration time and reduced infiltration, which is a higher runoff rates, and vice versa. It means that for the slopy basins where the elevation difference is so high, there is a less concentration time. Is the rainfall which is occurring at the remote place to pass or to come at the outlet of the basin, it requires a so less time interval, and due to that the maximum amount of the water used to contribute immediately after the rainfall towards the runoff. So this is about an elevation and slope. The next parameter is the type of a drainage network. So what does it mean about the type of a drainage network? Number of the times we used to observe that in the either in the hilly terrains or in the forest or in the agriculture fields also, there is to exist a small streams. म्हणजे काय असतं की बऱ्याच वेळा फॉरेस्ट असू द्या किंवा एखादा कॅचमेंट एरिया असू द्या किंवा एखादं मोठं शेती असू द्या, शेती केलेलं एरिया असू द्या, फील्ड असू द्या, त्याच्यामध्ये आपल्याला बऱ्याच वेळा चाऱ्या पाडलेले दिसतात. चारे आणि ओढे आपण त्यांना म्हणतो, छोटे छोटे स्ट्रीम्स म्हणजे ओढे. आणि शेतकरी काय करतो, बऱ्याच वेळा पावसाच्या पाण्याचा निचरा व्हावा म्हणून काय करतो, तर आउटलेटच्या ठिकाणी किंवा बरोबर अलॉंग द स्लोप ट्रेंचेस खोदून देतो किंवा अक्रॉस द स्लोप सुद्धा ट्रेंचेस खोदून देतो, म्हणजे चाऱ्या खोदलेल्या असतात. मग जर का या चाऱ्यांचं किंवा या ड्रेनेजचं किंवा त्या चाऱ्यांना आपण आता ड्रेनेज म्हणणार, मीन्स दोज ट्रेंचेस वी आर गोइंग टू ट्रीट ॲज अन ड्रेनेज लाईन्स. अँड इफ दॅट नेटवर्क इज गुड, if that drainage network is good, in that case how the runoff is going to be affect over the catchment area. Means for the drainage network where it is a good network, in that case there is a quick response of a rainfall to the runoff. Okay, that drainage network may be surface or may be subsurface. Subsurface we used to have an porous pipes, and they used to collect the water which is going to be there over the surface. So if the drainage network in the basin is properly planned, then it results in a peak runoff as the drainage lines drains the basin in a short interval of time. Why it is a response? Why this is a quick response? Because all the drainage lines drains the basin in a so small interval of time. कमीत कमी वेळेमध्ये सर्वच्या सर्व ज्या ड्रेनेज लाईन्स असणार आपल्या त्या वॉटर कलेक्ट करणार, त्याच्यामुळे आपल्याला बरोबर आउटलेटला क्विक रिस्पॉन्स मिळणार. वी विल सी द फिगर्स ऑल्सो हियर. सो दिस इज एन figures for the two catchment areas, those are shown over here. We will consider that the catchment areas are same one, A and B, but the drainage networks if we will look into, if the drainage network if you look into, in the drainage A we are finding that there are a number of tributaries existing, and or the number of small trenches are existing, and they are collecting the water from near about whole area, and they are at the last joining to the main stream and going to the outlet. Whereas in the second area of the same magnitude or the same shape, we can say the network of the drainage is so less. It means that here we are finding that the tributaries or the trenches, those are aligned herein, or the drainage lines those are provided in this basin are so less. 1, 2 and 3 are there, and one is the main line. It means that the area which will be get drained by this tributary will be this one, and remaining area will contribute either to this tributary or this tributary, but it will require to have a maximum duration. म्हणजे इथलं जे पाणी असणार आहे ते पाणी ड्रेन होणार आहे ऍट द लास्ट, बट इट विल बी रिक्वायर अ मॅक्झिमम टाइम टू बी गेट डायव्हर्टेड टुवर्ड्स द ऍडजस्टंट ट्रिब्युटरी, कारण याच्यापासून ट्रिब्युटरी खूप अंतरावरती आहे. म्हणजे जर का सेम क्रॉस सेक्शनल एरिया, सेम साइज, शेप, स्लोपचा बेसिन असेल, त्याच्यामध्ये जर का आपण नंबर ऑफ ट्रिब्युटरीची संख्या कमी केली, म्हणजेच ड्रेनेज लाईनची संख्या कमी केली, तर तो एरिया पूर्णपणे ड्रेन व्हायला वेळ लागणार. आणि जर का वेळ लागला तर at the outlet, whereas from the basin B, where the density of the network is so less, we are finding that it is the resulted peak runoff is a delayed one. Means for this particular case, for catchment area B, the runoff which is generating from that, it is a delayed one. The peak runoff is so less than that of the peak runoff of a catchment area A. Why is it so? Because in the catchment area A, the number of drainage lines are more. They are draining the catchment area immediately, so they are getting a peak runoff because all the water which is there over the surface, it is getting drained over the surface, or nearly about all the water is getting drained. But in the catchment B, due to the less network of the drainage lines or collecting drains, we can say, the water getting collected through area is less. Not all the water is getting collected, so we are getting the less peak than that of the previous one or the catchment A, and also it is a delayed peak. So here we are finding the peak, whereas for the catchment A it is at somewhere else here. Means from the beginning you could start, for if it occurs at 1 hour, then it takes more than 1 hour to peak. It means that for a properly drainage networked catchment areas, there is a quick response of a runoff, sorry, rainfall to the runoff. Whereas in the areas where drainage network is poor, in that cases the response of a rainfall to the runoff is a less one or a delayed one. Then the next parameter, again it is the, so those are the nothing but the parameters associated with, or parameters those are influencing the runoff from the catchment area. Okay, so now we will move for the next part, that is the basin yield. Now what does it mean about the basin yield, or generally what does it mean about the yield? yield म्हणजे काय? yield म्हणजे काय? उत्पन्न. तर थोडक्यात जर का आपण ऍग्रीकल्चरचं एक्झाम्पल घेतलो किंवा एखाद्या बिझनेसचं एक्झाम्पल घेतलो, तर बिझनेसचं एक्झाम्पल मध्ये yield म्हणजे काय राहणार? द व्हॉट एव्हर द बेनिफिट्स विच यू आर गेटिंग, मीन्स फ्रॉम द इन्व्हेस्टमेंट ऑफ 1 lakh, if you are getting the benefits of 10,000, it means that the net benefit you are getting there is a 10,000, we can say. Similarly, for agricultural fields, if a certain crop has been grown, जर का शेतामध्ये आपण एखादं पीक घेतलेलं असेल, त्या पिकापासून मिळणारं पूर्णपणे उत्पन्न म्हणजे काय? आपल्याला समजा 5 tons of the jawar we got, or 5 tons of the maize we got. Likewise, means per acre 5 tons of the jawar is nothing but the yield of that crop from that 1 acre of a field. म्हणजे 1 एकर शेतामधून आपल्याला 5 टन ज्वारी मिळाली किंवा 5 टन मका मिळाली, हे त्या 1 एकर क्षेत्राचं उत्पन्न झालं, yield झालं. Similarly, here also for the catchments or the basins, we used to have an yield, and that yield is nothing but the amount of the water. मग आता जर का आपण पुन्हा एकदा एक्झाम्पल घेतलं, you could consider once again the example of the jawar or maize. त्याच्यामध्ये काय असणार? Various losses used to exist. म्हणजे काय होतं, बऱ्याच वेळा पक्षी वगैरे ज्वारी खाऊन जातात, म्हणजे तो काय झाला? लॉस झाला. नंतर हार्वेस्ट करताना म्हणजे पीक काढताना, कापणी करताना बऱ्याच वेळा काय होतं? लॉस होतो. तो सगळा लॉस सोडून, म्हणजे तो सगळा लॉस सोडून जे आपल्याला शेवटी ऍट द लास्ट जे काही 5 tons ऑफ द जवार और द मेज वी गॉट, दॅट इज नथिंग बट द नेट yield from that particular field. Similarly, from the basins also or from the catchment also, after a total rainfall, म्हणजे पूर्णपणे पाऊस पडल्यानंतर ना, at the outlet of the catchment, the net amount of the water which we are getting, that is nothing but the yield from that basin. मग ते yield कधी कसं असू शकतं? That may be the daily yield, that may be the weekly yield, that may be the monthly yield, that may be the seasonal yield, or that may be the annual yield, we can say. So here we are talking about purely about a water yield, and ते कधी असणार आहे? After the all the losses, evaporation, transpiration, etc. By meeting or all those requirements, whatever the net amount of the water which we are getting at the outlet, that water is nothing but the basin yield. So it is the total amount of the water that can be obtained from the basin per unit time. That time may be the 1 day, 2 day, 4 hours, 1 hour, 1 week, 1 month, season, for example monsoon season, summer season, winter season, or a whole water year, that is from start of the June to the end of the May. This is nothing but the water year, because the rainfall used to start from the June, that is in the India we can say the monsoon starts from the June, so we used to consider the 1st June as the beginning of the water year, whereas the 31st May as the end of the water year. So throughout that year, whatever the amount of the water which we are getting from a particular basin of a river or a catchment area, that total amount of the water is nothing but the basin yield. Then it includes the net amount of the water obtained from a whole catchment area. It includes the runoff, depression storage, etc., excluding all the losses. Means depression storages, if you are going to include them, or if you are going to utilize that depression storages, then it will be considered as a net yield or basin yield. Otherwise, depression storages may be considered as a loss from the net yield. Okay, so दिस इज अबाउट अ बेसिन इल्ड नाव. म्हणजे काय झालं की जे काही आपल्याला कॅचमेंटच्या आउटलेटला, त्या बेसिनच्या आउटलेटला जे काही पाणी मिळालं, दॅट इज नथिंग बट द basin yield. For example, if you consider an Ujni as a reservoir, then yield of a Ujni is nothing but how much amount of the water we have utilized from that Ujni for the irrigation, drinking, hydropower generation, then for industrial water supply. So by summing those 4 parameters, whatever the total amount which we will get, that amount is nothing but the net yield from the Ujni reservoir. It means here we are excluding the evaporation loss. Here we are excluding the infiltration and deep seepage, etc., etc., percolation, etc. म्हणजेच जे net amount आपल्याला मिळणार आहे, that will be utilized for other purposes from the reservoir. That is nothing but the net yield of a reservoir. Okay, means after deducting all the losses, whatever the amount of the water we are getting at the last of the catchment, at the outlet of the catchment, that is nothing but the basin yield. Okay, is it clear now? So now the next parameter is that now how to estimate that, how to find out, how to get exact amount of the runoff, or how to find out the basin yield. मग हे सर्व आपण विचार केला. बेसिन यील्ड म्हणजे काय बघितलं, फॅक्टर्स इन्फ्लुएन्सिंग काय काय ते बघितलं, रनऑफ म्हणजे काय बघितलं. मग हे रनऑफचं एक्झॅक्ट अमाऊंट काढायचं कसं, हाऊ टू गेट. Estimation is so much essential for the water planners for assignment or for the proper allocation and the distribution of the water for the various purposes. But that allocation and all those things is a different part, that is after estimation. But how to estimate that means how much amount of the water will be there in the Ujni reservoir or in the basin of the particular river, say Krishna or say Panchganga, etc. In those basins, how much amount of the water will be there, that is as a runoff. So how to estimate that? For that, the different methods are there in. So firstly, we will mention them and then go in details. The first one will go for the runoff from a rainfall may be estimated by the following methods. The first one is the empirical formulas, curves, and the tables. The first method, which is existing, which has been established by a number of researchers by carrying out the research over for longer durations or for their stipulated time duration. From that, they have developed the empirical formulas, means equations they have developed. Then they have developed some curves and they have put forth some tables. As per that, we used to estimate that. This is the first method. Second method is the rainfall runoff correlation. That is also called as a regression analysis. Next one is the rational method, then infiltration method, and use of hydrograph. So those are the 5 methods, those are widely used for the estimation of the runoff. So now we will discuss those methods one by one. The first method, that is the empirical formulas, curves, and tables. It is based on the experience and the experiments. It means that whatever the formulas, those are developed by the number of researchers. The curves, those are provided or those has been established, and the tables, those are put forth by the number of researchers. Those are based on the experience and the experiments those they have carried out in the various regions. So the empirical formulas are different for different localities. They are different for the different regions, because we have discussed the number of parameters those are influencing the runoff. It means that for the catchment areas, those are having a larger slopes, they used to yield a runoff at the higher rates due to the less infiltration chance and reduced the time of concentration. Whereas for the flat topographies, the response of a rainfall to the runoff is a delayed one. It is a late and the magnitude or the magnitude of the runoff or the volume of runoff at the outlet will be the less due to the higher rate of infiltrations. So based on all those things and their areas of the experiments, they have developed the different curves, formulas and the tables. The first one is the English formula, which has been developed for the Bombay Deccan catchments, that is for the Western Ghats. Means this researcher has carried out the research in the Western Ghat areas, that is a Deccan catchments of the Bombay, we can say, and he has developed his formula. Means after noting down all the observations, he has discovered a equation. This equation is like this: that is, runoff is equals to 0.85 times the precipitation minus 30.5, whereas the runoff is in a centimeter and P, that is a precipitation, in the centimeters. Means the rainfall and runoff both are in a centimeters, and for correlating them, means now if the precipitation has been recorded in the Western Ghats, say as in a 1 centimeter, time being we can say, or we will consider that amount of the rainfall in the Western Ghat is say as a hundreds of centimeters, time being I am considering. Then by this formula, whatever the runoff is generating from that area will be 100 into 0.85, means it will be 85 minus 30.5, isn't it? So 85 minus 30.5 is the net amount of the runoff getting generated from the English formula, that is for the Deccan catchment or the Western Ghats. So it requires so many trials, so many observations over that catchment area regarding the recorded rainfall and the recorded runoff at the outlet. And after all those things, they have discovered this equation. Okay, it means that here we can say that for any area we may be able to establish a equation. Then for non-Ghat area, that is for the plains, that is for the Deccan Plateau, the formula derived by the English, the same scientist has, is runoff R is equals to precipitation into P in bracket P minus 17.8 divided by 254, whereas P, R and P are the annual runoff and the precipitations respectively. It means that the duration of them is on the yearly basis, and this equation now is not applicable for the Western Ghat, whereas this Western Ghats equation is not applicable for the non-Ghat areas or the plain areas. Okay, so those equations are as per the observations and the readings and the interpretation of the data, results, conclusions, what they got as per that. It means that now if you record only the rainfall, or if you are knowing the rainfall or the precipitation in the Deccan Plateau or the plains or non-Ghat areas over the year, then we will be able to estimate the runoff from that particular area. Okay, so this is about an English formula. Then the next one is the Binnis percentages or Binnis tables, it is called as, and it has been there for the catchments in Madhya Pradesh. So whatever the experiments those has been carried out, or the equation which has been put forth, or tables which has been put forth by the Binnis, is applicable for the catchments of the Madhya Pradesh only. They are not applicable for the other regions. Similarly, the strange curves and the tables, those are applicable only for the Bombay, that is a Deccan catchments, as like an English formula. So those two are there in strange curves and the English formulas. Then the next one, the next tables are the Barlow's tables for the runoff coefficient, and they are applicable for the catchments in a UP, that is a Uttar Pradesh, we can say. So each and every equation, each and every table, each and every formula, they are applicable for the particular catchments only. Okay. Then the next method is the rainfall runoff correlation. Widely this technology, this method is used. So what here is done, Here, the mathematical equation of the regression is formed. So how to form the equation? If we are knowing the data, or if we are having the record of say and hundreds of years, that is for rainfall and runoff. Say for 1991, we have a rainfall of say 1200 millimeters, and runoff from that is say as an ideal example as 100 of TMC. Then for 1992, the rainfall is say 1100 millimeters, and the runoff from the catchment say it has an time being as 99 TMCs. So likewise, if you will have the data of the records or longer durations, then it is possible mathematically to establish the relationship between those two entities, that is a rainfall and runoff. There is a precipitation and generated runoff. And by regression analysis, we used to find out the correlation of a coefficient, that is called as a Pearson's correlation coefficient, small r. Okay, that is a statistical part, and from that we used to develop the equation. And as like the previous equations, if you put up only the magnitude of the precipitation, then you will get the rainfall. So how is it so? Oh, sorry, by putting the value to magnitude of the precipitation, you will get the runoff. So we will see now how it looks like and how to develop them. So this is the most commonly used technique to estimate the runoff from the rainfall. In this method, the annual runoff value, that is R, correlated with the corresponding rainfall. Means the whatever the runoff magnitudes are therein of a catchment area, particular catchment area we will consider, those values are correlated with the amount of the rainfall for the same catchment areas, and the equations are developed. Then a linear regression line is a fit between R and P, and the results are accepted if the correlation coefficient is near to the unity. So here, by fitting the line of a correlation regression between R and P, the equation is acceptable, or the line is acceptable, if the magnitude of the correlation coefficient, that is a small r, is near to the 1. No doubt that it never it becomes to be exactly 1. If it becomes exactly 1, then it's an ideal condition. It means that 100% rainfall, 100% runoff. Or if the magnitude is matching for 100% rainfall and 100 millimeter rainfall and 90 millimeters as a runoff. If the R is 1, if the runoff coefficient is 1, it means that thereafter in a future, if the rainfall occurs to be as an say 100 millimeters once again, then there will be the 90 millimeters of precipitation, 90 millimeters runoff. Likewise, it means that the equations are accepted for whom that magnitude of the coefficient is near to the 1. The equation of the straight line of the regression line is a runoff R and P is as like R is equals to AP plus B, whereas A and B are the constants. R is the runoff, P is a precipitation. It's like as an Y is equals to MX plus C, isn't it? So as like in a straight line. So A and B are the coefficients, we can say. So we will see now that how it appears to be. So suppose that those are the magnitudes, this is the data, the points representing the data of the rainfall and runoff. For example, for the 10 centimeter rainfall, here this is the annual runoff, we can say. So 10 centimeter runoff has been occurred for 80 centimeters of a rainfall. Okay, I will go for. So whenever you are finding that speed is increasing, please do ask me. Okay, so I will reduce the speed. समजा या केस मध्ये काय आहे, आता रेनफॉल रनऑफ कोरिलेशन मध्ये आपण काय करतो, तर साधारणतः आपल्याकडे जेवढा जास्तीत जास्त टाइम ड्युरेशनचा डेटा अवेलेबल असेल तेवढा डेटा आपण कन्सिडर करतो. म्हणजे काय, समजा आपल्याकडे पाठीमागच्या 100 वर्षाचा डेटा आहे. आता डेटा कशाचा पाहिजे आपल्याला, तर त्या वर्षी किती पाऊस पडला आणि त्या वर्षी किती रनऑफ जनरेट झाला. म्हणजे काय, हे ऑब्झर्व केलेलं असणार आहे सगळंच्या सगळं. गेजिंग साईटला आपण काय करतो, तर गेजिंग साईटला किती रनऑफ येतोय त्या बेसिन मधनं ते आपण मेजर करतो. मग तो डेटा आणि पडलेला पाऊस हा डेटा जर का आपल्याकडे असेल तर तो डेटा काय करतो आपण, तर त्या डेटाचा आपण कोरिलेशन कोइफिशियंट फाइंड आउट करतो. आता इथं मी त्याचे फॉर्म्युले वगैरे पुटअप केलेले नाहीयेत, बट दे हॅव अ इक्वेशन्स. म्हणजे तिथं आपल्याला सुरुवातीला त्यांचा मीन काढावा लागतो, मीन काढून नंतर आपल्याला त्याचं कोरिलेशन कोइफिशियंट काढावं लागतं. परंतु साधारणतः जे कोरिलेशन कोइफिशियंट जो असतो, म्हणजे त्याला स्मॉल आर असं म्हटलं जातं, त्याला पियर्सन्स कोरिलेशन कोइफिशियंट असं म्हटलं जातं. त्याचं मॅग्निट्यूड 1 च्या जवळ असेल, मीन्स क्लोज टू 1, इट इंडिकेट्स दॅट व्हॉट एव्हर द रिलेशन हॅज बीन एस्टॅब्लिश्ड बिटवीन आर अँड पी, दॅट इज रेनफॉल अँड प्रेसिपिटेशन इज सो ॲक्युरेट असं मानलं जातं. मग हे एक्झॅक्टली रिलेशन कसं राहतं, किंवा हा प्लॉट किंवा हा ग्राफ कसा राहतो, तर आर इज इक्वल्स टू ए बी प्लस बी टाईपचा राहतो. ए आणि बी काय झाले आपले कॉन्स्टंट राहिले, आर आणि पी काय झाले आपले व्हेरिएबल झाले. इथं आर विल बी नाव डिपेंडंट व्हेरिएबल अँड पी विल बी इंडिपेंडंट व्हेरिएबल. म्हणजे पी म्हणजे काय आहे, प्रेसिपिटेशन आहे, दॅट इज रेनफॉल आहे, पडणारा पाऊस आहे. तर आर म्हणजे काय आहे, त्याच्यापासून जनरेट होणारा रनऑफ आहे. म्हणजे रनऑफ हा त्या पडणाऱ्या पावसावर डिपेंडंट आहे, म्हणून R is a dependent variable over the P, whereas P is independent. P म्हणजे काय, पाऊस पडणारा. तो रनऑफवर डिपेंडंट आहे का नाहीये, जेवढे ढग आले तेवढा पाऊस पडणार, किंवा जेवढं इव्हॅपोरेशन झालेलं असणार तेवढं पाणी पडणार. सो दॅट इज द आयडिया. मीन्स P इज इंडिपेंडंट, R इज अ डिपेंडंट. मग हा डेटा जर का आपण क्रोनॉलॉजिकली आपण अरेंज केला, म्हणजे 1990 पासून ते 2000 पर्यंत, आणि त्यानंतर आपण काय केलं, समजा त्या 1990 ते 2000 म्हणजे 10 वर्षाचा आपला पिरियड झाला, बरोबर. 91, 92, 93, 94 लाईकवाइज अप टू 2000. ओके. सो इफ यू हॅव ऑर्डर्ड दॅट अँड इफ यू हॅव प्लॉटेड, म्हणजे आपण काय केलं, ते प्लॉट केलं. यू विल प्लॉट इन एक्सेल ऑल्सो. आपण जर का एक्सेल मध्ये जर का तो डाटा टाकला, म्हणजे काय, एका साईडला काय आहे, एक कॉलम काय असणार आपला रनऑफचा असणार, दुसरा कॉलम रेनफॉलचा असणार. रेनफॉल आपण एक्स ऍक्सिसला घेणार, रनऑफ आपण वाय ऍक्सिसला घेणार. आणि ते पॉइंट जर का आपण ग्राफ पेपरवरती ट्रेस केले किंवा एक्सेल मध्ये त्याचा ग्राफ ट्रेस केला, तर आपल्याला एक स्ट्रेट लाईन मिळते. मीन्स जर का आपण ग्राफ वरती काढला तर काय करावं लागेल, वी हॅव टू टेक इन टू कन्सिडरेशन दॅट स्ट्रेट लाईन मस्ट पास थ्रू द मॅक्झिमम नंबर ऑफ द पॉइंट्स. मग हे पॉइंट्स काय आहे, तर ते पॉइंट्स म्हणजे आपले रेनफॉल आणि करस्पॉन्डिंग रनऑफ आहे. फॉर एक्झाम्पल, फॉर 80 सेंटीमीटर ऑफ अ रेनफॉल द रनऑफ वॉज 10 सेंटीमीटर्स. म्हणजे ज्यावेळेस 80 सेंटीमीटर एवढा पाऊस पडला, त्यावेळेस 10 सेंटीमीटर एवढा रनऑफ झाला. सिमिलरली यू विल कन्सिडर द पॉइंट ओव्हर हिअर. हा मी लास्टचा पॉइंट घेतला, तर हा काय आहे, साधारणतः इट इज इक्वल्स टू अबाउट 160 सेंटीमीटर ऑफ अ रेनफॉल, म्हणजे डबल झाला. त्यावेळेस किती रनऑफ जनरेट झाला, त्यावेळेस नियर अबाउट 75 सेंटीमीटर एवढा रनऑफ जनरेट झाला. हे सर्वच्या सर्व पॉइंट्स काय केले आपण, तर आपण प्लॉट केले, ग्राफ पेपरवरती आपण प्लॉट केले. आणि आफ्टरवर्ड्स वी हॅव ट्रेस्ड द लाईन. द लाईन इज सच दॅट इट इज passing through or it is touching to the maximum number of the points those are marked over the graph paper. Or if you will draw in Excel, in that case directly you will get a straight line and its associated equation. So here equation is like this: R, that is the runoff, is equals to that A constant जो आपण म्हटला तो, what is that, it is 0.7938 into precipitation म्हणजे rainfall minus 44.444. बऱ्याच वेळा काय होतं, आपण इक्वेशन काय बघितलं होतं, R is equals to AP plus P होतं. That constant may be the plus, that may be the minus. It depends on the data which we have with us. So that equation or the correlation regression line, best fitting line rather, एक्सेल मध्ये काय मिळणार आहे आपल्याला, एक्सेल मध्ये आपल्याला बेस्ट फिटिंग लाईन मिळणार आहे, स्ट्रेट लाईन. आणि तिचं जे इक्वेशन असणार आहे, that equation we used to get directly in the Excel. So here for this data the equation is R is equals to 0.7938P minus 44.444.
and it's a correlation coefficient. Here this is R square. R square is nothing but the percentage error, we can say, sorry, accuracy, percentage accuracy we can say. So R square is a 0.9. It means that 90% variability has been captured by this particular equation. म्हणजे काय की जो काही पाऊस पडला आणि त्याच्यापासून जो काही रन ऑफ जनरेट झाला त्याच्यासाठी हे जे इक्वेशन मिळालेलं आहे त्या इक्वेशनची जी अॅक्युरसी आहे ती 90% अॅक्युरसी आहे. म्हणजे पुढच्या वर्षी जर का पडलेला पाऊस तुमच्याकडे असेल, इफ वी आर हॅव्हिंग द डाटा अबाउट द रेनफॉल फॉर अ नेक्स्ट इयर and if you want to calculate the runoff, then at a 90% accuracy you will be calculating the runoff from this equation. म्हणजे काय की समजा पुढच्या वर्षी म्हणजे समजा या वर्षी आपण कन्सिडर करूया 2020-21 वॉटर इयर जर का आपण 2020-2021 घेतलं आणि त्याचा जर का आपल्याला रेनफॉल माहित असेल, समजा आपल्याकडे तो रेनफॉल जो आहे तो रेनफॉल आपण असं अजून करूया की 1000 मिलीमीटर्स मीन्स 100 सेंटीमीटर एवढा पाऊस आपल्याकडे आहे असं आपण कन्सिडर करूया. जर का 100 सेंटीमीटर आपल्याकडे पाऊस असेल तर त्या पावसापासून जनरेट होणारा जो रनअप आहे जे आपण इक्वेशन तयार केलेलं आहे आपल्या पाठीमागच्या डाटाप्रमाणे त्या इक्वेशन प्रमाणे जर कॅल्क्युलेट केलं तर 90% अॅक्युरसीने आपल्याला रनऑफ मिळणार. म्हणजे इथं जर का आपण व्हॅल्यू पुटअप केली 100 सेंटीमीटरची, सो व्हॉट यू विल गेट 100 into 0.7938 म्हणजे काय झालं 79.38 minus 44. So whatever runoff amount you will get, that runoff amount will be as accurate as a 90% of the actual runoff we can say. म्हणजे जो काही रनऑफ तुम्ही मेजर करणार त्या कॅचमेंटच्या आउटलेटला त्या मेजर केलेल्या रनऑफ जर का समजा तुमचा टाइम बिंग 10 सेंटीमीटर असेल तर तुम्ही मेजर केलेला रनऑफ हा त्याच्या 90% अॅक्युरेट म्हणजे 9 सेंटीमीटर एवढा तुमचा रनऑफ रेकॉर्डेड असेल. हे त्याच्या पाठीमागचं रिझन झालं म्हणजे त्याच्या पाठीमागचं बेस झाला. म्हणजे काय once you will develop a correlation regression equation, then afterwards only thing is that just to put up the magnitude of a runoff, rainfall or a precipitation, you will get the runoff. And it's not like that you have to always go along with this equation. Now you will use the various softwares as like an artificial intelligence tools as like genetic programming, genetic algorithm, neural networks, etc, etc. Then those softwares or those tools used to give us the different equations directly. Means they used to try at them themselves. Means we have to just give them a data. After it will give a data, then those softwares used to find out the best equation. Now best equation means what? The equation which will have the best value of the correlation coefficient or the best value of the percentage accuracy. R square indicates the percentage accuracy here, whereas a small r means if you take the root of that, it indicates the correlation coefficient. Now after that we have to decide that which equation we have to go for. So which equation will prefer now? The equation which will have the highest value of r square or a highest value of r we can say. म्हणजे आपण त्या सॉफ्टवेअर मध्ये आपला डेटा दिल्यानंतर ना आपण ते रन केल्यानंतर ना जे काही इक्वेशन्स मिळणार आहेत आपल्याला, आपण असं इक्वेशन आपल्याकडे अक्वायर करून घेणार किंवा आपण तोपर्यंत ट्रायल करणार की जोपर्यंत आपल्याला आर ची व्हॅल्यू किंवा आर स्क्वेअर ची व्हॅल्यू जास्तीत जास्त येत नाहीये. And once you will get the maximum value for r or r square, then afterwards for prediction purpose we will be using only the equation that is the best equation rather or the best model we can say which we have with us. Means for example the r whose r is near to the or close to the 1 means 0.99 say 0.9 say 0.9192 etc. And for the estimation of the runoff from the catchment areas, the magnitude of the r more than 0.9 is so accurate. It means that here the acceptable magnitudes for the value of the R म्हणजे अशा कॅचमेंट एरियाज ना रन ऑफ एस्टिमेट करण्यासाठी R ची व्हॅल्यू 0.9 पेक्षा जास्त म्हणजे ती व्हॅल्यू खूप ऍक्युरेट झाली. It is considered as it's so accurate. Why is it so? Because in the basis there used to occur so many things. The system is so complex. So for such a complex system, the magnitude of R or correlation coefficient over 0.9 is considered as a so nice or a so great value, we can say, or highly acceptable value. And after that, whatever the equation which you will get, that will be adapted for the prediction purpose. Okay, so this is about the correlation regression analysis or correlation regression used for prediction of or estimation of the runoff from a rainfall. And this curve is called as a regression curve, regression technique. Then the next method of the estimation is the rational method. Rational method in general assumes that, so rational means the widely accepted, we can say. So rational method assumes that the whatever the rainfall is occurring over the catchment area, that all the rainfall or the rainfall occurring at the remote places also contributes to the runoff. It means that after the time of concentration, the whole precipitation is going to contribute for the runoff, and it is used for the estimation of the floods also. We'll see now in details. In this method, it is assumed that the runoff will be generated if the certain rainfall continues beyond the time of concentration. That is, it indicated that the condition of the peak runoff. It means that whole catchment area is going to be drained out and it is going to contribute for the runoff. So as per a rational method, they have given us a general equation, and that is a widely applicable with what we can say, म्हणजे ज्याला strong base आहे असा. म्हणजे काय की if you think in the mathematical language or in the technical language, we can say, or in the language of dimensional analysis, we can say. So if you want to measure a runoff in terms of the say centimeters, meters or millimeters from the occurred rainfall, isn't it? So in that case, how to estimate it? So it is going to be generated from the particular catchment area. बरोबर, म्हणजे जो काही रनऑफ जनरेट होणार आहे तो त्या पर्टिक्युलर कॅचमेंट एरियामधून जनरेट होणार आहे. म्हणजेच आपल्याला तिथं पडणार, सॉरी, तो जो कॅचमेंट एरिया आहे तो कॅचमेंट एरिया सुद्धा कन्सिडर करावा लागणार आहे. इट मीन्स दॅट वी हॅव टू टेक इन टू कन्सिडरेशन द कॅचमेंट एरिया and the intensity of the rainfall which is occurring over a catchment area, so that we will be get a rational results, we will be get acceptable results. So this method gives the relation as Q is equals to CIA, whereas Q is the runoff, C is the coefficient of runoff, I is the intensity of rainfall, and A is the catchment area. This is a generalized equation, we can say here. I is rainfall intensity, it may be in centimeters per hour or centimeters per second or meters per second, like what, and area A will be in square kilometers, hectares, etc. Isn't it? And C is considered as a runoff coefficient, which is contributing or which is accounting for the abstractions. Means whatever the abstractions those who had seen over there in the runoff event, that is interception losses, all the infiltration, etc., etc. To account them, the C has been considered in this equation. So Q is equals to CIA is nothing but the rational method or the rational formulae which is used widely for the different areas or different locations, rather, we can say, isn't it? So now we will move for the next one regarding the parametric evaluation. Also we will go for, it means how to go for the conversion of the units and all those things.
So when the area is in square kilometers, when area is in square kilometers, I, that is a rainfall intensity in the centimeters per hour. Then if you want that a discharge Q runoff is in meter cube per second, here I have considered as a volume, isn't it? Here we have considered as a volume. So if you want to have that a discharge or Q or the runoff as a volume in a meter cube per second, then in that case it is required to convert the unit system. So how to that? So it comes to be Q is equals to 2.778 times CRA, and this equation is applicable when the area is in square kilometer, intensity is in centimeters per hour, and we want, just a minute, where we were, why it happened, so centimeters per hour will be the intensity. So centimeters per hour into square kilometer is there, and what we want to have, meter cube per second, means area will be required to convert to the meters, square meters. So it will be get multiplied by 10⁶ from kilometer square to the meter square, and then I from centimeters per hour to the centimeters per second. So centimeters to meter will be required to divide by 100, and hours to the second will be required to by 3600. So by arranging those terms, you will get the magnitude for that conversion factor as a 2.778, and this will be the equation which will be applied for the magnitudes of the area in a square kilometer and intensity in a centimeters per hour, and discharge is required in a meter cube per second. So this is about the rational method. Then the next method is the infiltration method. So infiltration method we had seen already also. So what does it mean about infiltration method? In infiltration method, we used to deduct the infiltration amount, that is the pi index we used to go for or W index we used to go for, and after deducting those things from a total rainfall, we used to get the runoff directly. Means after deducting all the losses from the total precipitation, we used to get the runoff from that catchment. So I will just brief that. So runoff can be estimated by deducting the infiltration loss, that is the area under the infiltration curve, from the total precipitation, or by the use of infiltration indices, means whatever the area. So if you deduct the infiltration magnitude from the area under the infiltration curve, then in that case you will get the remaining magnitude as a runoff. Okay, so these methods are largely empirical, and the derived values are applicable only when the rainfall characteristics and the initial soil moisture conditions are identical to those for which these are derived. It means that once you have derived those things by using infiltration method, then those equations, or sorry, those curves are applicable only for that conditions for which they are developed. Because once the soil moisture condition changes, infiltration changes, means it is not applicable now. It will be required to derive the next one. So likewise, those are applicable only for those conditions for which they are derived. That is the limitation of infiltration method, we can say. Now the next two will go for, that is the use of hydrograph. So how to use the hydrograph? Now hydrograph, we had seen that it's a basic fundamental we had seen only. That is it is a graph between the runoff versus a time, that is a meter cube per second or meter cube per hour on the y-axis, and the discharge rather on the y-axis, and the time on the x-axis. So now how that hydrograph will be applicable. So, before proceeding to that, I want to go into the depth of the hydrograph just to see how it has been used for. So this is a plot of the discharge in a stream against a time, that is a runoff versus time, you can say, discharge versus time. Then why to go for a hydrograph? We are going to discuss hydrograph in details, but before that we will discuss that why to go for a hydrographs. Because for calculating the maximum discharge, the hydrographs are most essential. They used to give us a peak values. That is, to calculate the maximum discharge in a catchment in order to design the hydraulic structures like dam, bridges, spillways, sluice gates, etc., etc., we will be able to get accurate results from the hydrographs. For example, if you have plotted the magnitudes of the discharge versus a time, and you have that graph, then from that graph we will have the peak value, that is the maximum amount of the flood which is passing or which has been passed through that particular river. And by knowing that, we will be able to easily plan the capacity of the dam if you are going to construct, then the height of the bridge which you are going to construct over there, or the spillways for the dams to release the surplus amount of the water. It means that the peak is of 100, and if we are not able to construct the dam of hundreds to accommodate that hundreds of the height, we can say, then by knowing that 100 as a peak and associated depth of the water as a say 50 meters, then we will be able to decide the location of the spillways in the dam, so that once the level is going to increase beyond that, we will release the water from the dam, and dam will be remain as a stable, and a whole surplus amount, that is a flood we can say, or the runoff we can say, than the maximum storage capacity will be released to the downstream end. This is the first reason. Second one, it is a extension of the flood hydrographs or the flood records based on the rainfall records. It means that whatever the flood flows we used to estimate, those are based on the rainfall records in the past. Means whatever the relations we used to establish, those relations are carried out further for the estimation of that, or the extension, and which is used or which can be used in the hydrographs. So we will be able to utilize the hydrograph for estimation of the runoff. And the last one is that the development of the flood forecasting and the warming system based on a rainfall, the hydrographs are so much essential, or they are the best solution for that. So by considering those three characteristics or three parameters, we can say the hydrographs are used for the runoff estimation. Now we'll see that in detail. What does it mean about the hydrograph? Okay, in detail. Okay, now I would like to go for firstly I will take the help of the board here, so that we will get idea, that is what does it mean about and all those things. Now suppose that we have an x and y axis. Suppose that this is x axis, over which we are plotting the time event, that to be in hours, and over the y axis we are plotting the discharge which is passing through the river as a Q in a meter cube per seconds, or meter cube per hour we can say. So this is the Q and this is the time. Now before now suppose that we have considered a Bhima basin only, for time being we'll consider the Bhima basin we have considered for the observation purpose, and we have taken the observations for a longer duration, say for 50 to 60 years we can say. And from that it has been observed that before the starting of the monsoon there used to a runoff. म्हणजे पाऊस पडण्या अगोदर सुद्धा उन्हाळ्यामध्ये सुद्धा नदीमधून पाणी वाहतं, बरोबर. म्हणजे काय की जे काही ते पाणी आहे नदीमध्ये, the starting of a rainfall, that is nothing but the delayed flow or the base flow we can say. So once again I will go for the sketch because there was a network problem. So this is a time in hours, and this is a Q, that is a discharge in a meter cube per second or meter cube per hour we'll consider. So if you have taken the observations in a Chandrabhaga river or the Bhima river for a prolonged durations, and you have found that before the start of the monsoon there was a runoff, there was a water flowing through the river, and when we used to observe that, that magnitude of the runoff in the summer season goes on decreasing and decreasing. त्याचा जो रेट असतो तो हळूहळू कमी होत जातो. मीन्स व्हॉट, सपोज दॅट विल स्टार्ट फ्रॉम हिअर इन ऑब्झर्वेशन टाइम पिरियड कन्सिडर द 0, पण 0 असताना काय होतं, काहीतरी डिस्चार्ज होता. Suppose that the discharge is somewhere else here. I will change the color also here. Okay, suppose that this is a Q at the initial point when we have started the observations, but we observe that once the observation starts, म्हणजे आपण कुठे सुरुवात केली आहे, समजा आपण मे मध्ये सुरुवात केलेली आहे, मेच्या स्टार्टिंगला सुरुवात केली म्हणजे काय होतं, जो काय रनऑफ आहे तो हळूहळू कमी झालेला आपण दिसतो. So we used to observe the runoff is going on decreasing and decreasing with the time. Suppose that this is now a 1 month we'll consider time being. दॅट इज मे हा आपला संपलेला असं आपण अजून करूया. आणि पुन्हा काय होतं, जून सुरू होतोय. म्हणजे काय, मेच्या एंड पासून काय होतं, सुरुवात होते, पाऊस पडायला सुरुवात होते. देअर स्टार्ट्स अ रेनफॉल इव्हेंट. And once a rainfall event starts, then there is to a start in increase in a runoff in the river basin also. म्हणजे पाऊस पडायला लागल्यानंतर ना पुन्हा काय होणार, हळूहळू नदीमधलं जे पाणी आहे त्या पाण्याची जी लेवल आहे ती पाण्याची लेवल हळूहळू वाढत जाते. अँड इट्स अ ट्रेंड वी यूज टू ऑब्झर्व समथिंग लाईक दिस. ते काय होतं, हळूहळू हळूवरती वाढत जातं. आणि नंतर एक कंडिशन अशी येते की पूर्णपणे जो कर्व आहे, म्हणजे पाऊस संपला आता पूर्णपणे आपला 4 months time interval has been over, or suppose that we have observed for a particular storm only. म्हणजे आपण काय केलेलं आहे, जे आपण ऑब्झर्वेशन घेतलेलं आहे ते ऑब्झर्वेशन काय आहे आपलं, तर आपण एका पर्टिक्युलर स्टॉर्म साठी घेतलेलं आहे, म्हणजे एका पावसासाठी घेतलं. त्याच्यानुसार आपण काय आढळलं की पाण्याची जी पातळी आहे नदीमध्ये ती हळूहळू काय झाली, तर ती वाढत गेली. आणि नंतर ना एक पॉइंट असा येतो की नंतर ना पुढे गेल्यानंतर ना तो आपला पीक येतो. म्हणजे काय होतं की त्या पॉइंट नंतर ना, म्हणजे पाऊस बंद झाला, आता आपला पाऊस बंद झाला. पाऊस जरी बंद झाला तरी नदीमधलं पाणी हळूहळू वाढत जातं. तर पाऊस बंद झाल्यानंतर नदीमधलं पाणी का वाढत जाणार, बिकॉज व्हॉट एव्हर रेनफॉल हॅज बीन ऑकर्ड इन द बेसिन, दॅट रेनफॉल ऑकर्ड ऍट अ रिमोट प्लेस. म्हणजे कॅचमेंटच्या आउटलेटला एकदम, म्हणजे सॉरी एकदम फार्देस्ट पॉइंटला, म्हणजे हा आपला आउटलेट असेल, इथं पडलेला जो पाऊस आहे तो इथपर्यंत यायला त्याला वेळ लागणार. म्हणजे थ्रू द ट्रिब्युटरीज व्हॉट एव्हर द अमाऊंट ऑफ द रेनफॉल इज कमिंग टू दॅट पॉइंट, इट रिक्वायर्स सम टाइम. आणि त्याच्यामुळे काय होतं, जरी पाऊस बंद झाला तरी आपल्याला काही वेळानंतर ना, काही वेळापर्यंत पावसाचं सॉरी जे रनऑफचं व्हॉल्यूम आहे ते वाढलेलं दिसतं, आणि ते कुठेतरी वाढतं आणि नंतर ना हळूहळू कमी होत जातं. बरोबर. म्हणजे जर का आपण फ्लड कंडिशन बघितली तर पंढरपूरमध्ये येणारा फ्लड हा पाऊस पुण्यामध्ये पडल्यानंतर ना लगेच येत नाहीये. इट रिक्वायर्स 1 day, 2 days, 3 days, 4 days ड्युरेशन. मीन्स आफ्टर अ रेनफॉल, आफ्टर सीझिंग ऑफ अ रेनफॉल, इट रिक्वायर्स अ सम टाइम टू गेट अ पीक. म्हणजे हा आपला पॉइंट काय झाला, तर हा जो आपला पॉइंट झाला तो आपला पॉइंट ऑफ पीक झाला. हा इथला पॉइंट आपला पीक झाला. नंतर ना काय होतं, हळूहळू पाण्याची जी पातळी आहे ती हळूहळू कमी होत जाते. And after a certain time interval we can say again there is a change in the trend. म्हणजे काय होतं, इथं पाऊस बंद झाल्यानंतर ना पाणी वाढायला सुरुवात होते, त्याचा ट्रेंड चेंज होतो आणि पुन्हा एकदा हा कर्व कंटिन्यूस होतो आणि पुन्हा ट्रेंड चेंज होतो. अँड अगेन देर इज अ फॉल इन अ अमाऊंट ऑफ रन ऑफ इन अ पर्टिक्युलर रिव्हर. म्हणजे पुन्हा काय होतं, पुन्हा एकदा जो काही पावसाचं पाणी नदीमध्ये आपल्याला ऑब्झर्व करायला मिळालं ऍज अ डिस्चार्ज, ऍज अ रन ऑफ, दॅट अमाऊंट स्टार्ट्स गेटिंग डिप्लिटिंग, म्हणजे स्टार्ट गेटिंग डिक्रीजिंग. म्हणजे काय झालं, पुन्हा जे पावसाचं पाणी आपल्याला ऍज अ रन ऑफ म्हणून नदीच्या एका लोकेशनला आपण जिथं ऑब्झर्व करतोय तिथं हळूहळू काय होतं, कमी होत जातं. अँड this particular graph is nothing but the hydrograph of that particular storm in that catchment area. मग याच्यामध्ये याचे वेगवेगळे कंपोनेंट्स येतात. Now components means what? Suppose that starting point as A. Okay, we'll consider that the starting point as A. Then this point from where the rainfall has started contributing as a B. Then point of fluctuation is a C over here. And then peak point we'll consider as a point D. Then again here fluctuation as a E. Then here that is after on the recession limb, I'm going to discuss that what is recession limb and all those things. I have just quoted now the points over here. Means I have given the I have nomenclated that A, B, C, D, E, F, G. So what are those points? So AB indicates the runoff in the river prior to the rainfall. म्हणजे काय, AB काय इंडिकेट करतो, इट इज द कॉन्ट्रीब्युशन ऑफ ग्राउंड वॉटर फ्लो टू द रनऑफ इन द रिव्हर बिफोर स्टार्ट ऑफ अ रेनफॉल. म्हणजे पाऊस पडण्या अगोदर जे काही त्या जमिनीमध्ये मुरलेलं पाणी होतं अगोदरचं, म्हणजे डिलेड रनऑफ होता, बेस फ्लो होता. बेस फ्लो म्हणजे काय झालं, आपला ग्राउंड वॉटर टेबल मधून येणारं पाणी झालं. त्या ग्राउंड वॉटर टेबलच्या पाण्याचं कॉन्ट्रीब्युशन हे AB इंडिकेट करत आहे. आणि हे हळूहळू कमी का होत आहे, कारण जे काही ग्राउंड वॉटर टेबल मधलं पाणी असणार आहे किंवा झऱ्यांमधून येणारं पाणी असणार आहे त्याची मॅग्निट्यूड काय होणार, हळूहळू कमी होत जाणार आहे. सो AB indicates that the contribution of the base flow or the groundwater flow to the runoff before the start of the monsoon. So this is the significance of the AB or the meaning of the AB we can say. Whereas the BC indicates the rising limb of a hydrogram. तर रायझिंग लिंब म्हणजे काय, हा जर आपण पोर्शन कन्सिडर केला बी टू द सी, हा रायझिंग पोर्शन आहे. दिस इज कॉल्ड एज अ रायझिंग लिंब ऑफ अ हायड्रोग्राफ which indicates that there is a increase in a runoff due to the contribution of a rainfall. म्हणजे or this is a increase in the runoff due to the response of a rainfall to the runoff. म्हणजे जो काही पाऊस पडला त्या कॅचमेंट एरिया मधला, त्या कॅचमेंट एरिया मधलं पाणी काय व्हायला लागलं, बरोबर आउटलेटला यायला लागलं आणि सर्व रिमोट प्लेसेस म्हणजे सुरुवातीला इथलं येणार, नंतर याच्यावरचा पोर्शन, नंतर त्याच्यावरचा, नंतर त्याच्यावरचा पोर्शन, हा सर्वच्या सर्व पोर्शन मधलं पाणी हळूहळू कॉन्ट्रीब्युट करायला लागलं. आणि ज्या वेळेस ते रिमोट प्लेसेस पासून यायला लागलं त्यावेळेस ते काय व्हायला लागलं, तो ग्राफ आपला वाढत गेला. म्हणजे डिस्चार्ज जो यायला होता आउटलेटला, तो डिस्चार्ज हा आपला वाढत वाढत गेला. आणि नंतर ना काय होतं की पूर्णपणे पाऊस थांबला. म्हणजे बीसी पर्यंत काय झालं, डिरेक्ट रिलेशन रेनफॉल रनऑफ, म्हणजे पाऊसही सुरू होता आणि रनऑफही सुरू होता. बट from the point C we used to observe that there is a change in the curve, there is a change in a trend in a curve we can say. म्हणजे काय, concave convex likewise. म्हणजे कशा पद्धतीने असणार, initially it was like this one. Just a minute, I would like to take the tool over here. So initially it was like this and now it has been changed. It's a sequence like this. म्हणजे काय झाला, concave convex किंवा convex concave we can say. So likewise, so this point indicates that now the rainfall has been stopped, but the delayed rainfall, so delayed runoff is a contributing to the runoff. म्हणजे जो काही पाठीमागच्या पोर्शन मधला रिमोट प्लेस मधला जो रनऑफ होता, रेनफॉल होता, इट इज नाउ कॉन्ट्रीब्युटिंग टू द रनऑफ and which is going to result in a peak runoff. म्हणजे काय झालं, पीक रनऑफ जनरेट झाला. आणि आफ्टर दॅट म्हणजे इथलं पाणी सगळ्याच्या सगळं म्हणजे इथला पॉईंट जो होता तिथलं पाणी इथपर्यंत पोहोचलं, नंतर पाऊस बंद झालेला आहे. म्हणजे काय होणार, whatever the amount of the rainfall which has been stored on the area or which has been got infiltrated in the area, now it is going to contribute as a runoff. ओके, त्याला म्हटलं जातं रिसेशन लिंब. म्हणजे हा काय झाला, बीसी रिप्रेझेंट्स द रायझिंग लिंब whereas EF represents the recession limb. So recession limb means what? There is a now decrease in the runoff and which is purely a contribution of the delayed runoff. म्हणजे जो काही पडलेला पाऊस आहे त्याच्यापासून जो फ्लो येतोय त्या फ्लोचं आपल्याला हळूहळू क्वांटिटी कमी होत चाललेली आहे. फॉर एक्झाम्पल, ड्युरिंग अन फ्लड इव्हेंट वी यूज्ड टू have a forecast from the government. बऱ्याच वेळा पुराच्या वेळेस आपल्याला अशा फोरकास्टिंग केल्या जातात की 1 दिवसानंतर ना पुराची पातळी हळूहळू कमी होईल, 2 दिवसानंतर ना पुराची पातळी हळूहळू कमी होईल. म्हणजे काय, तर पाऊस बंद झालेला आहे आणि कॅचमेंट एरिया मधलं जे पाणी तर खाली येतंय आउटलेटला ते हळूहळू कमी होत जाणार आहे. म्हणजे हा पूर्णपणे फ्लो किंवा जो रनऑफ आहे तो रेनफॉल मुळेच आहे. म्हणून त्याला आपण काय म्हणतो, रिसेशन फ्लो और रिसेशन लिंब ऑफ अ हायड्रोग्राफ. Now, whereas the point F indicates that now the contribution from that runoff, contribution from the surface runoff has been over. म्हणजे काय, B, C, D, E, F पर्यंत जो काही रनऑफ होता तो सरफेस रनऑफ होता, किंवा दुसरा कुठला होता आपला, जो आपला थरो रनऑफ होता तो थरो रनऑफ होता. म्हणजेच प्युअरली सरफेस वरून वाहणारं पाणी आणि जे शॉर्ट डेप्थला जे इन्फिल्ट्रेट झालेलं होतं त्या पाण्यामुळे तयार होणारा हा रनऑफ होता. परंतु पॉइंट एफ काय इंडिकेट करतो की नाव द सरफेस रनऑफ हॅज बीन ओव्हर. म्हणजे जो पडलेला पाऊस आहे त्याचं जे डायरेक्टली जमिनीच्या वरती असलेलं जे पाणी होतं त्याच्यामुळे जो रनऑफ जनरेट होत होता तो रनऑफ आता पूर्णपणे स्टॉप झालेला आहे. बट देर इज अ कंटिन्युएशन ऑफ रनऑफ. देर इज अगेन द वॉटर इज फ्लोईंग थ्रू द रिव्हर. मग आता हे नदीमध्ये पाणी कुठून व्हायला लागलं, मग डायरेक्ट रनऑफ तर संपला. पावसामुळे जो काही पाऊस पडला होता त्याच्यामुळे जे पाणी येणार होतं त्याचं कॉन्ट्रीब्युशन सरफेसवरचं जे होतं जमिनीच्या वरचं त्याचं कॉन्ट्रीब्युशन पूर्णपणे संपलेलं आहे. परंतु जो काही बेस फ्लो झाला पावसामुळे, जे काही डीप इन्फिल्ट्रेट झालं, दॅट डीप इन्फिल्ट्रेटेड वॉटर विच हॅज कॉन्ट्रीब्युटेड टू द ग्राउंड वॉटर, नाउ इट हॅज स्टार्टेड ओव्हर हिअर. म्हणजे त्याने काय केलं नंतर ना, ही पासून जो पुढचा जो आपला सरफेस रनऑफ नदीमधला दिसतोय तो नदीमधला सरफेस रन ऑफ हा बेस फ्लो मुळे आहे. म्हणजे जे पावसाचं पाणी जमिनीमध्ये डीप पर्क्युलेट झालं, जे ग्राउंड वॉटर टेबल मला मिळालं आणि नंतर ना झऱ्यांमार्फत वगैरे किंवा लोअर इलेव्हेशनला बाहेर निघालं, दॅट इज कॉन्ट्रीब्युटिंग फर्दर फॉर द our base flow we can say, that is for the runoff we can say. मग हा रनऑफ जर का तसा आपला जनरेट झालेला असेल तर त्या केसमध्ये बी आणि एफ, पॉइंट बी अँड पॉइंट एफ इंडिकेट्स द, here point B indicates that end of the contribution or the less contribution point of the groundwater table, whereas the point F indicates that the maximum contribution of the groundwater table, and further it is decreasing and decreasing. And if you join the point B and F, if you join the point B and F, then this line is nothing but the line separating the base flow, because below this there will be the base flow only, purely base flow we can say. म्हणजे काय की या लाईनच्या खालचा जो फ्लो असणार आहे, that flow in the river is purely due to the base flow, that is due to the groundwater contribution. Okay, I've got the point. So C is the point of inflection on the rising limb, E is the point of inflection on the falling limb. The point B and point F decides or indicates that the contribution of the start of the contribution of the groundwater table for the surface runoff and end of the contribution of the surface runoff for the from the groundwater table. परंतु बऱ्याच वेळा काय होतं, though I am saying here that the contribution has been overed from the surface runoff, but it doesn't happen exactly. What does it indicates? Though the rainfall runoff used to be therein due to the rainfall, but the contribution goes on decreasing and decreasing like this. अशा पद्धतीने कॉन्ट्रीब्युशन जे आहे ते कॉन्ट्रीब्युशन हळूहळू कमी होत जातं. का कमी होतं? कारण मॅक्झिमम कॉन्ट्रीब्युशन कोणाचं असणार आहे इथं, तर मॅक्झिमम कॉन्ट्रीब्युशन जे असणार आहे रनऑफ साठीचं, ते जो काही पडलेला पाऊस आहे त्या पावसाचं जे पाणी आहे त्या पावसाच्या पाण्याचं मॅक्झिमम कॉन्ट्रीब्युशन हे रनऑफ मध्ये असणार आणि ग्राउंड वॉटर टेबलचं कॉन्ट्रीब्युशन हे हळूहळू कमी होत जातं. ऑन अदर हँड इकडच्या बाजूला आपण ट्रेस करायचं म्हटलं तर हा साधारणतः आपला असा असू शकेल आता. का? कारण इकडं काय झालं, हळूहळू कमी व्हायला लागला. म्हणजेच काय, तर इकडं हळूहळू जे बेस फ्लोचं कॉन्ट्रीब्युशन आहे ते बेस फ्लोचं कॉन्ट्रीब्युशन नंतर ना वाढत जाणार. म्हणजे ग्राउंड वॉटर टेबल हा तिथं पुन्हा हळूहळू कॉन्ट्रीब्युशन त्याचं वाढत जाणार. दिस इज अबाउट इन जनरल अबाउट द hydrolog. Now with a neat sketch we will discuss that. What does it mean about? So here I have taken an ideal example that is from the book I have copied. So discharge in meter cube per second. This is a rainfall event which has been occurred for the d hours duration. Time is in hours. So AB, this is nothing but the base flow recession. बेस फ्लो रिसेशन का म्हटलं, कारण ए पासून बी कडे जात असताना हळूहळू बेस फ्लोचं कॉन्ट्रीब्युशन कमी कमी होत गेलं. एच्या ठिकाणी मॅक्झिमम होतं. जसं जसं पाऊस पुन्हा लांबणीवरती पडला म्हणजे पाऊस डिलेड झाला तसं नदीमध्ये येणारं जे पाणी होतं ग्राउंड वॉटर टेबल पासून येणारं ते हळूहळू कमी होत गेलं. सो दिस इज कॉल्ड एज अन रिसेशन. कोणाचं? बेस फ्लोचं. सो दिस इज बेस फ्लो रिसेशन, दॅट इज AB. Then BC is a contribution of a rainfall to the runoff. So this is nothing but the rising limb. Rising म्हणजे काय? वाढणार आहे. So this is a rising limb. Whereas C is nothing but the inflection point. Inflection point why? Because hereafter the trend used to goes on change. Number of the times it happens that the point C indicates the ceasing of or the completely stopping of the rainfall event and further contribution of the delayed rainfall to the runoff we can say. म्हणजे जे राहिलेलं शिल्लक पाणी जे आहे कॅचमेंट मधलं ते पाणी नंतर ना आपल्या रनऑफला कॉन्ट्रीब्युट करणार. सो सी टू द ई इज नथिंग बट द क्रेस्ट सेगमेंट. जो टॉपचा पोर्शन आहे सी टू द ई, दिस इज कॉल्ड एज अ क्रेस्ट सेगमेंट. डी इज कन्सिडर्ड एज अ पीक पॉइंट or peak flood we can say or peak flow we can say. And then point E is the inflection point on the falling limb, because hereafter the contribution for the runoff is going to change drastically. And it is like this. Means इथं काय झालं, इथं रायझिंग लिम हा कसा होता, याचा स्लोप हा फास्ट होता म्हणजे immediately response is there, but here there is a less change or the slowly delayed or slowly decrease in the runoff with the time we can say. And E to the F, that is a E F we can say, it indicates the falling limb. By mistake I had a CD over here. CD हा falling limb नाही आहे. So here the falling limb is nothing but E to the F, as we have explained previously. By mistake I have typed here as CD. So EF is nothing but the falling limb and F to G is nothing but the base flow recession. म्हणजे पुन्हा एकदा काय झालं, F to the G काय झाला, पुन्हा एकदा F पासून कॉन्ट्रीब्युशन हे बेस फ्लोचं सुरू झालं आणि पुन्हा पाऊस जर का लांबणीवरती पडला तर पुन्हा काय होणार, हळूहळू त्याचं कॉन्ट्रीब्युशन हे बेस फ्लोचं कमी होत चालणार. So this is about a general discussion about the hydrogram and how to prepare it now. Okay, म्हणजे आपण काय केलं, starting to the end how it appears to be and what are its elements, that part we have discussed. Now we'll summarize the thing. This is another one. This is a hydrogram. So suppose that this is an ISO heights. Those are sorry. This is a rainfall intensity versus time has been shown over here. Suppose that this is a rainfall which has occurred for some duration. So hydrograph is there. आणि याच्यामधून आपण काय केलं, बेस फ्लो मायनस केला. फ्रॉम दिस curve or from this runoff, sorry, rainfall, total rainfall, we have subtracted the base flow line. So this is nothing but the base flow line. We have subtracted that phi index, means total losses. So from that we used to get the contribution of the runoff is going to be a more and more, and then there will be the peak, and again ha peak मिळाला, then there is a rainfall event is going to be a vanish now, पाऊस कमी कमी होत गेला, and afterwards there is a falling limb or there is a less contribution for the runoff from the rainfall, we can say. That is a delayed runoff in the basin or in the outlet, and afterwards there will be vanishing, there will not be any surface runoff, there will not be there will be surface runoff in the river, but contribution of the surface runoff is a 0, and then the contribution for the surface runoff from the base flow starts. As simple as. Okay, so this is an indication part only. Then we will summarize the things regarding the hydrograph over this sketch. AB is a base flow recession. It reflects the initial discharge in the stream due to the groundwater. म्हणजे काय, जो काही ग्राउंड वॉटरचं जे कॉन्ट्रीब्युशन जे होतं कोणाला, त्या रनऑफला, ते कॉन्ट्रीब्युशन हायड्रोग्राफने जे शो केलं ते म्हणजे AB ने रिप्रेझेंट केलं. So the portion of the hydrograph, that is AB, represents the contribution of the hydrograph to the runoff, that is discharge in the stream due to the groundwater, it is initial. Then BC, it is a rising limb which reflects the prolonged increase in a discharge from a catchment area due to the rainfall event. म्हणजे काय झालं, इथं जे इंडिकेशन दिलं BTC ने, that indication is increase in the magnitude of a runoff due to the contribution, that is directly contribution of the rainfall to the runoff. Okay, then the next one is the E to the F. So E to the F is the falling limb which reflects the gradual withdrawal of the catchment storage, that is discharge starts reducing. म्हणजे जो काही पाऊस पडला कॅचमेंट मधला त्याचं जे कॉन्ट्रीब्युशन होतं कशासाठी, रनऑफ साठी, ते हळूहळू कमी व्हायला लागलं. सो इट इज अ ग्रॅज्युअल विड्रॉवल ऑफ द कॅचमेंट स्टोरेज along the EF, and that is called as a falling limb. Then the peak point, that is a D, it is the highest point on the hydrograph when the rate of discharge is the greatest or the highest one we can say. Then inflection points C and E. So C and E are the inflection points, that is a point of a curve at which change in direction of the curvature occurs. So from point C the change occurs like this, and from E the change again occurs like this. So they indicates that most of the time C indicates that there is a less contribution of a rainfall to the runoff. Likewise, म्हणजे काय झालं, इथून पुढे पाऊस जो आहे तो पावसाचं प्रमाण कमी होत गेलं, अशा पद्धतीने इंडिकेट केलं जातं. Okay, then the lag time. The lag time म्हणजे काय, the lag time is the delay between the maximum rainfall and the peak discharge. म्हणजे काय, रेनफॉल हा आपला इथपर्यंत संपला, इथून ते इथपर्यंत, कुठपर्यंत, फ्रॉम दिस पॉइंट
up to the maximum point D, whatever the duration is there, that duration we can say as a lag time. That is delay between the maximum rainfall and the peak discharge in the river or a stream. Then the AB, this is the groundwater contribution, A to the B, and FG is also the groundwater contribution. So FG is a groundwater depletion curve, because from F onwards there is a depletion in the groundwater also. कारण इथून पुढे काय होणार आहे, F to G पासून पुन्हा हळूहळू ग्राउंडवॉटरचे जे कॉन्ट्रीब्युशन आहे ते हळूहळू कमी होत जाणार आहे. So FG is a groundwater depletion curve. Hereafter we are going to treat it as, okay. So this is about the hydrograph and the summary of the hydrograph.